This is my brand new AirBrush, and today we're gonna set it up to work with a shop air compressor. And since we're at it, we're gonna test it out by trying to make this not look so boring. I'm David, and welcome back to the shop. I've got all my components laid on my workbench because this was a little bit of an intimidating project for me, and I felt I needed to break it down into components, which there are 6 of. Number 1 is the easiest. It's the air compressor, and that's already set up. The second component is going to be a water filter and a pressure regulator. I think that's gonna feature-proof me a little bit in case I get another air gun in the future. The third component is gonna be a longer air hose. That one's simple enough as well. The fourth component is gonna be another water filter and a pressure regulator combined into one unit. A lot of the videos I watched online made sure to point out do not have water in your AirBrush, so I want to make sure I get any water out of the tank and any water out of the hose before it gets to my AirBrush. Number 5 is going to be a smaller air hose that I'm only ever going to use for airbrushing, so that one should stay dry all the time. The 6th and final component is the AirBrush itself. Between each component are going to be these quick connectors. This will allow me to keep everything modular and future-proof me a little bit as well. We're gonna start with the filter assembly that's going to go into the compressor itself. All right, moment of truth. There we go, pressure, and there's a leak somewhere. So I'm just gonna use some soapy water to see if I can find the leak that's coming out of here. All right, looks like it's right there. A little bit of tightening. There we go. The second component is done, which is the first air trap and the first pressure gauge, and it is airtight, which is awesome. Now we can move on to the next one, which is the hose. First try. Awesome. All of the air components are together and airtight, so in theory we're ready, but I realized that there's a problem. This particular filter does need to be hanging vertically. Fortunately, I got one that can be mounted, but I don't have anything mounted to, and I want to keep some other supplies together as well. To hold all this together, I drew up a holder on some cardboard to scale so I could kind of see where all the pieces were gonna go. Then we can move on to painting it all. AirBrush components are done. The stand is ready, the air tank is primed and masked off. So now the only thing left to do is actually AirBrush, which is actually the part I've been most nervous about this entire time. Now, I did get some cardboard that I'm gonna do some practice on and get a feel for the AirBrush before putting any paint on my actual projects. The nice thing is, both of these are shop projects, so they're a great place to learn, at least for me, before doing something for my wife. I was really excited to show you the airbrushing and weathering of both Air 2D2 and the airbrush station, but unfortunately I lost all my footage and it was corrupted, even though I tried to get it back and was unsuccessful. So here is some B-roll. So despite my technology issues, I'm pretty happy with how both Air 2D2 and the airbrush station turned out, even though I did admittedly go a little bit overboard with the weathering on both of them. I learned a lot about airbrushing and weathering on both of these projects, which I plan on bringing to future projects as well, including when we airbrush and weather this shop cart. The first part is already up if you want to check that out, but stay tuned for when I do that, and I'll make sure I actually get footage of both the airbrushing and the weathering. So until then, I'll see you next time.